Energy in the form of heat and light supports all life on Earth, drives the Earth's climate and weather, and is predominantly responsible for the resources collectively known as renewable energy. Solar power generally describes technology that converts sunlight into electricity. This workshop is conducted to help students to understand the concepts like sources of energy, different forms of energy, and conservation of energy. I welcome all my students to this workshop. Please follow some ground rules. Turn off your webcam during the presentation. Mute your microphone. You can raise your hands later during the question answer session. Please write your doubts and questions in the chat box. Mr. Prabhat Srivastav, who has 25 years experience in energy sector in various government organizations, has worked in hydroelectric power, coal-fired power, and gas turbine power plants. He is also a trained energy conservationist and auditor. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Prabhat Srivastav and start today's session. Welcome, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Monica ma'am. Good afternoon, Principal ma'am, Vice Principal ma'am, all the teachers and the dear students. Well, as Monica ma'am said, we will know about today's session. We will understand about the different forms of energy, how we are generating electricity out of those, how we should and why we should conserve energy, and how solar power is helping in that. Right? So let's start then.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, students, you all can join in. You can be on mute. We will have a question answer sessions, and you can type in any questions you have in the chat box, and we will then discuss about it. Right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yes, sir.
let's begin. I hope everyone is able to view my screen.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So today workshop is on solar energy. We will go ahead with doing our. Let's begin this session. Okay. Now everyone understands this equation E is equal to mc square. So this equation which shows that energy is equal to mass multiplied by square of the speed of light. And who gave this equation? It is Einstein. So Albert Einstein gave this equation, and what did he say? He said energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can be converted from one form to another. So what we see when the electricity gets produced, it's nothing but converting one form of the energy into other, right? All right, let's see what are the different types of energy, correct? So you have observed stars twinkling in the night sky, and our sun is our nearest star, and it produces heat and light. How does it produce? There is a nuclear fusion going on inside it. And due to this nuclear fusion, heat and light is produced. And that is nothing but the nuclear form of energy, right? We also use this nuclear form in generating our power. And if you see, we will come to know about power plants as well when we move in the next slides. Another form of energy is magnetic energy. You all know that when a magnet is brought near a metal, it attracts. And this principle is used in electricity generation, because the principle here is that if a conductor is placed in a rotating magnetic field, a current is produced, a voltage is generated, and that is how the electricity is produced in power plants. Right? We have thermal energy and chemical energy. Thermal energy is nothing but how do we produce heat by burning something, right? So burning can be a fossil fuel like coal, gas, or oil, anything, right? And this is what is used in power plant as well, right? In thermal power plants. Then we have got chemical energy, the batteries what we use. Those batteries store energy in the form of chemical, and when we connect it to a bulb or any load, It then converts that into electricity and gives power. Another form of energy is the potential energy. Every object has got a potential energy. And when that potential energy, if it is at a height and if it falls down towards Earth, it converts into a kinetic energy, right? So the movement of any object is the kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy as well as potential energy is used in as many principle in power generation as well, right? And the main topic what we will be discussing today is the electrical energy. So electrical energy, be it through batteries or coming directly from the power plant to our home through different cables and wires, they light our houses, they give power to the laptops, the iPads, the computers, TVs, and everything at our home. How does this form of energy relate to the power plant? Let's quickly see that, right? So the nuclear energy is used in nuclear power plant, and that nuclear power plant then produces electricity. We have got in Karnataka a Kaiga nuclear power plant, which is almost like 880 megawatt of electricity is generated through it. It uses uranium, which is a nuclear fuel, as an input and then produces electricity. Next is thermal power plant, which uses the thermal energy. So thermal energy is nothing but burning our fossil fuels like coal. Coal is one of the major ingredients for a power plant, and in India as well as around the world, almost 60 to 70% of the power is coming through thermal power plants because they are the main source of electricity to our home. And that is where we should now try to move away from thermal power plants into more renewable source of energies, right? So thermal power plant, if I say in Karnataka, there are many, but just to name a few, there is a NTPC Kudgi power plant, then the Karnataka Power Corporation Limited's Raichur thermal power plant, which is a 1720 megawatt plant. And then KPCL has got one more power plant, a bigger one is at Bellary, that is Bellary thermal power plant, which is 1700 megawatt, right? Next, coming to the renewable sources, wherein the sources are easily available and they are renewable much faster. We have hydropower plants. Hydropower plants uses the principle of the potential energy in water, which is stored in dams at a height. And when it is channelized through proper channels towards the turbine, it rotates the turbine when the water flows and it generates electricity. And we have got Almaty Hydro Power Project, which is a 280 megawatt power project in Karnataka. And then on the river Krishna, right? And then we have Bhadra hydroelectric power plant as well, which is on the river Bhadra in Chikmagalur district, I guess. Yeah, and it produces around 40 megawatt of power. So those are hydropower plants. Coming to the next, that is the kinetic. How do you utilize the other kinetic energy? So we have wind farms, which utilizes the kinetic energy of the winds to rotate the turbines and then produce electricity. And yes, Karnataka has got a wind farm as well. Just 260 kilometers from Bangalore towards Karwar, there is Tubadahalli wind farms, which produces around 56 megawatt of electricity, right? And then we have the solar farms. When we say wind farms and solar farms, it is because there are many power generating kept across in acres of land. It's a huge, it's like a bigger farm rather than being one plant. It's a bigger farm. And it produces many small units of those solar panels or wind turbines produce a lot of energy. Coming to the solar farms, again, Karnataka has got some very good solar farms as well. And Karnataka one was one of the first solar parks, which produce around 40 megawatt of electricity. But then Karnataka has got world's third largest power farm as well. In fact, the first one also is in India. It is in Rajasthan. The second one is in China. The third again in India, in Pavagada Solar Park within Karnataka. And it is in the Tumkur district, just 180 kilometers from Bangalore. It produces a huge 2050 megawatt of electricity. It's a huge 13,000 plus acres of land is used into it, and it produces that. All right. Then let's see how solar energy is used, right? As ma'am explained, sun is our nearest star. We have got abundance of sunlight on our planet. Sun sends out all the solar radiation, which comes through our atmosphere, and there is abundance of sunlight on the surface of the earth, right? So we can utilize this and produce renewable energy, which is much more greener. That when I say greener, in the sense that it doesn't produce harmful gases, right? Because those greenhouse gases, what is produced in coal-fired plants and others, they harm our atmosphere as well. Right, now let's see how the solar energy is utilized. So solar energy can be utilized directly in solar water heater, right? Many of you might have seen, but there are solar heaters on the rooftops wherein those solar receptors or collectors, they are known, they absorb the sunlight and they heat up the water inside it. There is a tank at the top. The hot water rises up in the tank. The cold water from below again comes down. It gets heated up in the collectors and rises up. And that hot water can be used inside house for hot water uses, right? The next one is a solar cooker. We can use solar cooker as well directly utilizing the heat energy of the sun. So it is again a concave mirror sort of a thing, wherein the rays, sun rays, when it falls, everything is focused on a focal point. And that focal point is where the utensil is kept. You keep some food inside it and that gets heated up and it gets cooked, right? And the main where electricity is generated is the solar panels now. So solar panels, the easiest way you could have seen is on a street lamps, wherein there is a solar panel, there is a battery kept inside it, which gets charged during the day when solar rays or sun rays are falling on it. And during the night, that battery powers the lamp. So that's a simple thing which can be utilized. Now, this solar panel, how is that electricity generated in a solar panel? Let's see that. I am hoping everyone is still getting me. There is no disturbance or any breakage. All right. Yeah. All right. So the solar, how does this solar cell work? Solar cell consists of a silicon junction. Silicon junction means a p-type silicon and n-type silicon. They are sandwiched together, and at the junction, when they come together, that's a junction which is formed. When this solar cell or this PN junction, there is a light falling on it or sun rays falling on it, it generates voltage which circulates the current, right? And there is a very good effect named, and that is photovoltaic effect. Photovoltaic, when you say photo means light and voltaic means voltage. So when light falls on this junction, a voltage is generated. That's how electricity is generated in a solar cell, right? Now let's see how this solar panels are made. So solar panel consists of many small solar cells which are built into it, and they are connected together in series and parallel to produce the required power what is required. And if a few solar panels can be used on a rooftop to power a house, a small house, an apartment, or common lights, and these things which are being used nowadays in India at many places. If we have thousands of these solar panels connected together, it forms a solar farm where megawatt of electricity will be generated to power the whole town. A small town can be powered using this, right? Or many towns can be powered using solar farms. All right. Now let's see some of the rooftop, how this rooftop solar panels are used. I'll give you a few real-time examples where it is used. The picture you see here is nothing but your own sister concern DPS Navi Mumbai. And this is where they have installed rooftop solar panels. They are utilizing this solar energy to power their in-house energy needs, right? Then another good example you all can relate to for the rooftop is nothing but our own Bangalore's Chinnaswamy Stadium, which has solar panels mounted on the sheds, which is covering the stadium, and it powers the stadium. It was in fact one of the global first to do that, powering a stadium through solar energy, right? If you have gone to any, or if you have gone to your airport, that is Kempegowda International Airport, you would have seen some solar panels there as well. And again, this is a solar farm because it has got a huge energy production of 2.5 megawatt of energy from them. Just near the runway, there's a huge land they produce, as well as they have mounted solar panels on top of the parking space so that they produce around 400 kilowatt of water of electricity through that rooftop panels as well. In fact, Kempegowda International Airport is one of the first to be zero emission airports, wherein it is utilizing all the green power. All right, let's now see a demo. How do we, right? So I will stop my presentation for a minute so that I can show you all a demo, right? I will make myself as main so that you all can see this. Well, I've made a simple circuit. There is a LED bulb here, right? Two wires are connecting that LED bulb to a socket, and this socket is connected to a panel. This is a solar panel, right? A small solar panel which produces 5 volt and 500 milliampere of power, right? So if I just connect this, and if you all can see here, so this LED will light up when I, okay, just 1 second. Just 1 second, I'm switching it on, I'm connecting it. Something has gone wrong here. It's not lighting up. Okay. Okay, yeah. Suddenly there is actually the sun has gone behind the clouds. But if you see, the LED is glowing a bit. If I make this cover the solar panel, the LED won't glow, right? But if I turn it towards the sun, you can see the LED glowing. It's quite less because the sun has gone behind the clouds now. Otherwise, it was bright this morning when I checked it. I'll try to do it directly so that I can limit. Now the sun is quite low. It is dark outside here. So that's why it is, or let me just place it, just hold on, I'll place it in the sun near the window. No, actually there is a lot here. Actually now the sun has gone behind the, so I'm not able to directly show you this. But it's quite less. If you see, there's a very less of light if you can really see this. Yeah, now it is glowing when I'm extending my arm there. So see, you can see this, it is switching off. When I face it towards the window, it is, the LED is glowing there, right? All right. So let me share my screen again. You all are able to view this. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now let's study the conservation of energy. We all know that how difficult it is to produce the electricity and the energy where we are producing. As I said, 60–70% is coming from coal-fired power plants, which is not a renewable source of energy, right? So why should we conserve energy? We should understand this so that we know why we should be doing it. Well, we saw that equation, what Einstein's gave us. We cannot create energy. We can simply convert it. So we cannot create energy. So when we utilize something, we cannot create it. So we should save it. There is a loss when we convert. So as I said, when the conversion happens, there is a loss. In a power plant and a thermal power plant, the efficiency is hardly 30%. So even the modern plants are 35 to 38% of efficiency. So if I burn 100 kg of coal, I'll be getting 30 watt of power, which is very less as compared to what coal I'm using it. So that is where we have to conserve it, right? We have limited resources. What we are using coal and everything in next 50 or 100 years, it will get over. So then unless we find something new or different source, we will not have power, right? Then Mother Earth takes a long time to replenish these resources what we are using. So it is like a coal which is formed inside Earth crust takes tens of thousands of years or millions of years to form it, and we are utilizing on a daily basis thousands of kilos of coal. So it is a long duration. So if you utilize it today, we cannot have new coals formed by next 5 years or 10 years. It will be 10,000 or million year later, right? So that's why we should conserve energy. Now, we all know why we should conserve energy. Let's see how do we do it, right? We'll come to the question answer sessions later on quickly. Yeah. So how we can do or how we can conserve energy is by understanding. Now you all went through this session wherein you saw what are the different power plants, different source of energy, why we should conserve energy. So once you understand, then you will focus on conserving the energy, right? There are some simple efforts, manual simple efforts, switching off the lights and fans when no one is sitting in that room, closing the door of air conditioning if the room air conditioning is running, we can close the door so that that loss is not there. So these are all conservation, simple manual efforts of conserving electricity or energy. Lighting in older days, or even nowadays in villages, you use incandescent bulb, and that bulb produces electricity or produces light by heating the element filament inside it, which consumes a lot of energy, right? Nowadays, we have got LED lights. Almost most of the house now are using LED lights. So even the CFL bulbs, they consume more electricity than LED lights. So we can quickly switch on or convert these lights so that energy efficient lighting are used, right? Then we can use energy efficient appliances. What are energy efficient appliances? If you go to electronic shops to buy a washing machine, a TV, refrigerator, you would see some star rating on it. What does that star rating means? That means the efficiency of that equipment. So if it's a 3-star rated fridge, it will consume more power to give you the same output, same cooling effect. But if it's a 5-star rated or a 4-star rated fridge, it will consume less power to cool the same thing. So it is more efficient, correct? Then we can use solar water heating. So nowadays, solar water heating is catching up and many people are using it, but conventionally, there are gas heaters, there are electrical heaters used, and in colder countries where heating is very important, they heat the whole apartment or whole building using electrical heaters, which consumes a lot of energy, right? So we can convert that into solar water heating, and sunlight is available in abundance, and this will save a lot of energy, right? And then again in cooling and heating, a lot of losses are there in cooling and heating, and that's why we have to use insulated windows. In bigger buildings where it is centrally air conditioned, or in colder countries where it is centrally heated, they have to use an insulated window so that their efficiency is more. The heat inside the room will not escape, or if it is an air conditioned room, the coldness will not escape, or the hot air from outside will not come in, and it will save energy. And the main thing what we learned today was the solar energy, which is a renewable energy. We saw solar, then wind farms and hydro projects. These are renewable energy sources of energy, and solar is catching up very fast. And that is how we are now moving towards more renewable energy sources. India has got a target to have 40 gigawatt of solar power by 2040. And we are aggressively moving towards it. Right. All right. I know many hands were raised. Many people may have some questions. So ma'am, if you can just let know what it is, I can try to answer them.
Sure, sir. At present, nobody has written anything in the chat box, but quite a few children have raised their hand. So I think Monica ma'am, can we just
yes,
allow?
You can call out the name and they can unmute themselves and ask one by one.
Yeah.
1 second, ma'am.
Can you see like that?
No, ma'am, unable to see them. So only the hand raises can be seen. So I'm not able to
Hand
see.
raise. Ashwin Nair, can you unmute yourself? Ashwin?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you had shown us an example to prove light on a solar panel to a socket with black and red wires to an LED bulb. So when the LED bulb turns red, it works.
Correct. It glows. That means.
So, sir, my doubt is, can we make it wireless?
Yes, you can make it wireless because power can be transferred. The only thing what it happens is when you are transferring huge power through wireless, there is a lot of losses there. So that is where usually in you might have seen fast tags, right? In the cars, they are wireless and they have got some chips inside it. And how do they get power from? So they have got coils on it, and when they pass through the sensors transfers the power to them, very small power, because those chips require very small power, and that works. That chip works and it transmits back the data there, and your tag is read, right? So that is how it works. So there is a possibility of transferring power through wirelessly, but not for high capacity of powers. But for low capacity, it is there. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
So there is one question from Rayansh.
Mm-hmm.
He is asking, why does energy take such a long time to replenish?
Yes, the coal is formed by when wood or fossils or the trees which get buried inside, it is subjected to crushing, that is high pressure and the right temperature, and it takes years for it to convert into a compressed coal, and that's why it takes longer time. Like even if, for example, if you keep milk and you put some curd into it, it takes overnight to form into a curd, right? Because there are some processes, chemical reactions, which takes time and convert into other. Similarly, for coal, to form that coal, it needs to be pressurized at the right temperature and pressure under the earth. So if it is at a surface of the earth, it will not convert into coal. It has to get buried down, and it will take lot of time once the more and more soil comes on top of it, and then it gets the right pressure and temperature to convert into coal.
Thank you, sir. Another question from Rakshit.
Mm-hmm.
He is asking, how is the LTD light glow by the solar panel?
Well, as I explained you, the solar panel has got a junction, PN junction. When the light falls on it, it produces a voltage. When a voltage is applied to that LED through the red and black wire what I connected, it started glowing, because when you on a LED, when you apply a voltage, a current flows through it, a circuit is completed, and it start emitting light. So LED is the opposite of solar panel. So LED again has got a PN junction. So when a voltage is applied, it glows. And the solar panel is again a PN junction, wherein when light falls on it, it generates electricity.
Arnika just want to understand once in a simple way, how does the solar panel works? If you can just simply explain just.
Correct. So the solar panel, if you see, the solar panel have got small solar cells, and these solar cells are nothing but the PN junction, what I showed on the diagram, right? And these are connected. If you see this white lines, these are connected in series and parallel to produce the right voltage. So one cell may produce 0.5 volt, a small, very small volt. But if I connect 5 of them, then there is, or 10 of them here, what I can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 into 0.5, 5 volt I am producing. So this is how, and in a wind farm or a solar farm, these types of panels, there are huge panels, lakhs of panels which will be there, which produce a lot of energy, then megawatt of energy, right?
Another question from Nishan. His question is, how many watts for megawatt?
Okay. So 1000, that's 1000 means kilowatt, right? 1000 kilowatt is 1 megawatt. So 1000 watt into 1000 is 1 megawatt if you convert it in from watt to megawatt.
Yeah, these are the questions at present I'm able to see.
Okay.
Still anybody, ma'am, Monica ma'am, if still anybody wants to?
Yeah.
Yes,
Shilpa,
yes.
Can you please type? Okay.
Shubham. Yeah,
Shubham.
Shubham, you can ask.
Yes, ma'am, I want to know what is a solar panel? What is the material of solar panel?
Correct. So the solar panel has got a base, which is a metal, right, to give it the right support. Then there are PN junctions, silicons, which are the solar cells. On top of it, there is a glass to protect it, right? So this is made of a metal panel at the back, then a solar or a solar cells, smaller cells, which are kept. And then on top of it, there is a glass material, right? So the solar cell is made of silicon, which is converted into P and N junction, two types of silicons, and they are sandwiched together.
Okay. And sir, I have another doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, this material, if we just take the material and keep it in the sun without this protection or anything, without any solar panel, without any wire, will it just be converted into energy?
No, see, silicon sand is nothing but a silicon, but it needs to be processed, right? So it has to be processed, and a thin layer of silicons have to be formed. When I say thin layer, it's a very thin layer, and then you have to bring in two, one P type and one N type, and you have to join them, right?
Okay. Sir, I have last one doubt.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So my last one doubt is, sir, how can, in 2040, sir, how can we determine that we are going to make this much electricity in 2040?
Correct. So it is a plan. We plan that what we will be doing in future, like what you will become when you grow up, you plan and do as per that you study now, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and then you reach where you want to. Similarly, the government has planned that in 2040, we have to have 40 gigawatt. So each year they have to add 1 gigawatt or 2 gigawatt of power or 2000 megawatt of power. Like I said, Karnataka has got Pavagada Solar Park, which is 2000 megawatt, right? So it's
how much is 1 gigabyte worth in voltage?
No, see, power is voltage into current. So power is equal to voltage into current. So you cannot have power in terms of voltage. It is in wattage. Wattage is voltage into current, ampere into volts, right?
Okay, sir, you have clarified all my doubts. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, there is one more question.
Mm-hmm.
If it rains, then will solar panel work or will it get damaged?
No, that is where there is glass on top of it, because it allows the sunlight to pass through it, but it will not allow the rains to pass through it and short anywhere, right? And they don't get damaged. They are installed in open areas. The only thing is during cloudy season or in the night, they will not produce any electricity. Unless there is a sunshine, they will not produce it, right?
Jayant is also asking one question. How much LED lights can be connected to the solar panel maximum? Maximum, how many lights can be connected, LED lights?
Okay, so see, each solar panel has got a specification that it can generate only this much of power, right? And each LED, for example, if I read through this, it has got a 2.5 watt power. This panel has got 2.5 watt power which can generate. Suppose I am having one LED which is 0.5 watt. Each LED consumes 0.5 watt of power. So I can connect 5 LEDs to this panel. But if I have to connect 10 LEDs, I have to use 2 such panels so that my 10 LEDs will glow. So as the need increases, we have to increase more solar panels so that I can connect more LEDs into it.
Okay. So rest mostly questions are quite similar to whatever queries you have given. Yeah, we have already answered mostly. Nothing such. No other question is in this.
Okay.
Okay, children, later on you can share your questions with your teachers also in the classes. Okay, so they will get you answers. We'll connect with sir, they will get you answers.
Right.
No more questions, Shija ma'am, in the chat box?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
One question just now, only Anya, I think Anya has shared. That's a lot, I think. The solar panels are connected to our houses directly. Sir, can that solar panels can connect it to our houses directly? That's what her question is.
Okay, so this is a bit little technical, more technical. Yes, solar panels directly do not connect to a house because the solar panel produces DC power. DC, when I say DC, it has got a polarity, plus and minus. So it can power a DC like LEDs or some DC equipments. But in house, what we use is AC. That's an alternating current, 230 volts. So what we have to do is we have to have a converter in between. Those solar panels get connected to that converter, which converts it into a AC, which can be directly connected to a house wiring, and it can power up all the equipments there.
Okay. One more child is asking if there is any flood or something. How does this, what is the alternative option of that we are supposed to do?
Yeah, so so if there is flood, the power lines will not be there. So how can you transmit power from one place to other, right? So that is the emergency power, which we all have a torch, or there is even solar powered lamps are there, carrying lamps. So you charge them during the day, keep it. During such emergencies, those panels are or solar lamps are used, which can be carried through hand, and wherever needed, you can take it off, right? And whenever there is time. So in fact, solar is much more easily available and is used in such scenarios where flooding and this happens, rather than from the power plant, because maybe the pole might have broken down and you don't get power. But solar, if you have a panel and a lamp, you can directly, if the sun is there, you can directly charge your batteries or have your power there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so mostly
I think Harika wants to ask something. Harika, I'm unmuting you. You can ask. This is the lab. Harika?
Yes. In the solar street lights, you were telling there were some batteries which were storing the solar energy so that in the night they can use them. So how do they store the energies? There should be something in them, right?
Correct. So the battery is what even you might have seen when you use a torch or your remote for a TV, there are batteries, AAA, AA batteries. Those are small to power your electronic equipment like remotes and torches. But in a street lamp, there is a bigger battery which is used. When the solar panel is connected to the battery through a converter, it charges the battery. So it is a rechargeable battery which is kept inside there, right? So that rechargeable battery gets charged during the day, and in the night, it would then power the lamp.
Okay, so I think that's quite all the most other questions are quite similar to what you have answered. The same questions is repeated again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So children, whatever your doubts are there, your science teachers have also attended the session. So you can check with ma'ams, and like if they are, they will convey to sir if something they are not able to answer, and we will get back to you for sure. Okay. So can I invite Neha ma'am to give a vote of thanks? Yeah.
A very good afternoon to all. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this webinar to our distinguished guests, teachers, students, all who have assembled here. I would like to thank Mr. Prabhat Srivastav for sharing valuable information with us. It's really very helpful for us as well as for our students. I would like to thank our Principal Manila ma'am, Vice Principal Preeti ma'am for giving us such an opportunity to organize this informative webinar. Our Senior Mistress Reshu ma'am, our Coordinator Monica ma'am, and all the teachers for their guidance and support. Last but not the least, our beloved students for being a part of this webinar and making this event a grand success. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Would like to thank Principal Ma'am, all the teachers, the students who made this possible. Wishing you all a good health and happiness. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.